Hey everybody, Doug back at you with another Pennsylvania Dutch word of the week, and this week I bring you the word hiehocke. Hiehocke is the verb to sit down, and I bet you if you grew up with grandparents or parents that spoke Pennsylvania Dutch, this is a word that you will recognize. However, you might not recognize it in this form. So this is the infinitive form. If you looked up in the dictionary to sit down, you would get the word hiehocke. If you've been following the channel, you know that we have some verbs in Pennsylvania Dutch that split apart and then flip. They're called separable prefix verbs. We don't have them in English, but we do have them in both standard German and also in Pennsylvania Dutch. This is one of those examples of a verb that splits apart and flips. So where it splits is between the E and the H. The he part, H-I-E, that's the prefix. That what breaks off, and the hocke part is the stem of the verb. And the he is actually going to go to the end when you want to tell somebody to sit down. And this is probably what you heard growing up if you were around people that spoke the language, Pennsylvania Dutch. Maybe you heard this, hock de he, sit down. And as you see there, the verb does split and flip. The he goes to the end. Literally sit yourself down. Hock de he. Maybe you heard your grandmother saying that when it was time to eat. The food was on the table and it was ready to go. So she would say, hey, hock de he. Come on, sit down. It's a great word. Of course, it's one that you can easily use. So practice your Pennsylvania Dutch. Use this word this week when you're making supper and you got to call your spouse or your kids or your grandkids. And you want to say, hey, come on, come sit down. Hock de he. Perfect word to use. And you can use that whole phrase actually. Hock de he, sit down. Till next time, dear friends, keep practicing your Pennsylvania Dutch and Max gut.